Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Ashleigh Williams Show. I know I say I'm always excited, but I am really excited today, y'all. I have been so blessed to have really great guests come on the show. Usually I ask, and I don't even think I've gotten I got a not right now. That's what we're going to call it from the live show. We're going to say a not right now. But for the most part, people are really excited to come on. But today, y'all, somebody asked me to be on, and now I feel like I'm a superstar. You cannot tell me nothing, okay? Y'all, welcome Jamal Williams.
How you doing?
Thank you so much. You know, when I got that message that day, I was like, Mom, guess what? So, no, I'm really excited to have you on.
Yes, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So, we start every show with a segment called the Lemons to Lemonade segment, and it's where you share a trial that you've turned into a triumph. So, I want you to share your lemon to lemonade, but while you're doing that or before or after, give me your bio.
My name is Jamal Williams from College Park, Georgia, by the airport, the south side of Atlanta. Went to North Carolina State University, Creekside High School, music major, accounting degree major.
Yeah.
Very good with numbers. Very good.
At least one of us is.
Had a great upbringing, trials and tribulations through everything, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I grew up kind of a good life and, great father, great mother and everything. So, just trying to turn everything around and, make them proud.
Nice. Okay, what's your lemon to lemonade?
I think coming from our culture, from my age generation, everybody wanted to be in the streets. I like to say now that I didn't really have, I had an option. I could have went down the right path, but I chose to go down the wrong path. My father taught me very good morals, very good, standards as a man and everything. And I actually chose to take the street path by my influences. But I take full, accountability for everything that I've done in my life because I made those choices. And, just being a man now, I had to grow up and, having my own sons, that kind of made me change the trajectory of my life to make sure like that I have to be there for them and show them the same way that my dad showed me. And hopefully God looks after my boys and make sure that they make the right choices better than the ones I made. Changed me to a businessman, changed me to a great father, emotionally better. I connect better emotionally with people. So it just, it was a hard, very, very hard road that I've took myself down, but I wouldn't change it for nothing. You know what I mean? Because it made me into the man that I am today.
Well, cheers!
I appreciate that. She got lemonade in here and everything.
Lemonade.
It's good too.
That's what everybody is saying.
It's all right. It's all right. You made it.
I'm just joking. I'm trying to get a sponsorship, so I'm not going to say who made
That's
it.
kind of good. That's kind of good. That's good.
Okay, so let's go a little deeper into that. So we didn't talk this much when we were on the phone, so I had a preconceived notion of how this story was going to play out, and it was nothing like I expected. So we got to take quite a few steps back.
Okay.
So, and this is not to say that everybody comes from a two-parent household or does not have to go in or out of the streets, but you said yourself, like, you had good parents, they raised you right, but you chose the streets, and it was your influence. So what made you be like, I want to be outside?
I wanted more, looking back, you kind of take for granted that the hard work that your parents put in. Now, I didn't come from a two-parent household, but I actually had a father in my life, and he taught me a lot. But because he didn't buy me the things that I wanted versus buying me the things that I needed, that made me more influential, like made me want to go to the streets to get what I wanted, and I really didn't even need it. And I made a lot of wrong choices by, wanting to get the things that I wanted out of life. From the cars, clothes, women, and everything like that. And my dad always told me, man, go to school, get your education first. The girl's gonna be there, the women gonna be there. Everything's gonna be there. As long as you get that first, you have nothing to worry about. And I kind of think that me going down that path and being around the wrong crowd, being influenced by the wrong things, rap, music, videos, movies, that culture just influenced me more so than my positive influence that I actually had in my life at the time. I had a great grandfather. He was a businessman, owned his own, nightclub in the country where I was born at. And I didn't take direction on that early on in life, which I should have. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be a rapper and be in the streets and, quote unquote, sell drugs and do this and that, which helped me in a sense because I got a lot. I learned a lot from those people. I learned a lot from not being around, you know what I'm saying? Like just engulfing myself in that culture helped me distinct from what I want to be and what I don't want to be. So I had to learn how to be that person first to say, okay, I don't want to be that. You know what I mean? So like this helped me now in life. As a 40-year-old man now, it's like, okay, I'm still here. I'm breathing. I still got my good health. I work out a lot now. You know what I mean? Back then it was just, clubbing, women, drinking, it was just that lifestyle. But, like I said, it helped me a lot.
What were some of the consequences that you're open to sharing of that lifestyle?
Prison. I did 4 years in the feds, you know what I mean? So like that kind of derailed a lot of my dreams that I had for myself, a lot of my goals that I had that I kind of set up from being in that lifestyle. Like I said, I was, rapping, I was, you get right there and then that derailed me, which I'm so profoundly happy now that it happened because I couldn't imagine myself being a rapper at this age. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to be that. So, but just going through that experience, but I met a lot of great guys and
in prison.
Right. And every guy that I met in there, that you can say like OGs, they was like, you ain't supposed to be in here. You got a greater calling on you. You got something bigger for you. We don't want to see you back. And they never really had those conversations with a lot of people that were coming in, you know what I mean? So they was like, man, just sleep it off, man. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Don't do what everybody else doing. You sleep it off, we're gonna protect you good. Yeah. Just get back out there and make some of yourself. So I always held on to those, those words of affirmation from guys that we in a facility that you don't normally get that type of covering. So I can't do nothing but thank God that he was in the midst of my whole journey with that I'm still able to be here and, I'm still here breathing. I can spread my positivity, my life and my word that, you know what I mean? Like to help somebody else that is going through the same thing.
We're going to put a pin right there because I told you it was a lot that I wasn't expecting to hear. So give me the timeline because you went to North Carolina A&T, got a degree in accounting. Yeah. When did you have time to be in the streets?
I mean, to be honest with you, when I was up there, I did no partying. I was not outside up there. All I did was basically did a little something, what I mean, to make sure that I was taken care of, to where my parents thought that I worked at Walmart and they thought I still stayed on campus and I had my own apartment, had everything going, and I never called to ask for money or anything because I was, in the streets. I was dealing, to the students and, some teachers, everything, counselors. Yeah.
Tariq St. Patrick.
Yeah. Like seriously, before the St. Patrick. Yeah. But that was my lifestyle then. And, when I came back, I was just like say engulfed in that. And, down from there, the rap career outside, then it just finally caught up with me when I turned 28. And that's when I was, indicted and went to the feds or whatnot, and went through that journey, did 4 years there, and I came out, a brand new fresh man, ready to, change my life around. Now, it wasn't immediate, you know what I mean? Because I was still had that itch. I was gone for a year, so I felt like I was missing something. I felt like I had unfinished business. So it took a lot of transitioning outside of prison to, you coming back home and, you still kind of shell shock. You still kind of moving the same way. I still have some ways still now that, you know what I mean, that I haven't really shook, but it's still a transition. It's a journey. So, that timeline from 28 to when I came home at 32, I celebrated my 30th birthday in there, which was crazy. Wow. You know what I mean? So it was just a lot that a lot of people don't really put in perspective when you in the streets, that time you're missing. And but like I said, I wouldn't change it because I met a lot of great guys who are home now that we all celebrate each other, and it's like, man, look where we at now. So it's a journey.
When you were coming out of prison and you talked about readjusting, what was that like? So I think a part of you is probably saying, I do want to turn my life around. I want to change, but there always aren't, legal opportunities available to people who have been to prison. So what was that like? Like that pool of I want to get right, but then I still gotta finish my business out
You know
here.
what? That's a narrative because
Really?
there are many opportunities for people coming out of prison. We have to stop that narrative like, oh, I can't do nothing because of this and do that. Now can't go get a high paying job, but you can start somewhere. Or or like I said, you can do lawn care service, you can create your own business, you can do a lot of positive things in order for you to transition from that lifestyle. So we have to stop that narrative like, oh, I can't do nothing. It's always something for you to do. It's just about who you place yourself around. If you come back home to those same negative influences, of course you're gonna gravitate back into that, which I did at first. You know what I mean? Like I can't lie and say that I didn't. I did. And once I saw that it was still leading me down that path where I could possibly go right back, especially after I had my sons, I had to cut it off. And if I didn't have positive people around me to keep pushing me forward that believed in me, and that's a number one thing, you have to stay around people that actually believe in you, that encourage you, that don't want you to go back, that's not going to peer pressure you to going back just for their financial gains or whatnot, because that's a lot of what happens, when you come out of prison and people think like, oh, you're going to get back up, I need to be around them and, see what's going on. And, it's a lot. It's a lot. Mentally, it's a lot. So, but just staying around the right people, and there are many opportunities for, people coming out of prison. Like we have to stop that narrative as black men, even black women, that there aren't opportunities, because I've seen a lot of even black women come out and their lives skyrocket.
Wow.
Versus the men, we come out and use that as a crutch or as an excuse. You know what I mean? So I don't want to pander on that, and and let men think like, oh, I can't do nothing. Yes, you can. You really can. You got to change your environment. That's all it's about.
No, I appreciate that, because I needed to hear that, and I'm sure other people can benefit from it. So what were the jobs that you started from the bottom doing to help you write your path?
Transportation, doing
Trucking?
Trucking,
Okay.
transportation, delivery services, sanitation jobs, janitorial jobs. Just anything that could maybe supply me with the income so I didn't have to go back. Now, like I said, I can't say that it was substantial, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it gave me that space to be more creative to what I'm doing now, to open up other avenues. Because once one person see you going on this avenue, they'll say, okay, they'll be willing to help you and, pour into you and even help you financially to get to that next level. But you have to show that you're on that positive, that positive outcome. You can't just keep going on that negative trajectory and thinking that positive people are going to pour into you. That's not how it works.
This is so good. So I think you mentioned one of the reasons why people may not want to take advantage of those opportunities, because it's not as high paying and may not compare to what you would have been doing
Right.
in the streets. So mentally, how was that for you? Like, I got to humble myself and be here because I want better. So how did you mentally go through that season?
God, like really God. And, I was blessed with two beautiful sons back to back. That's one of the things I did when I came home. They were back to back. But like I said, if I did not have those boys, I don't know where I'd be at right now. I know I probably would be back in the street. You know what I mean? So they gave me a reason to not go back and not revert back to their guy, because they're dependent on me. They look at me a certain kind of way. They're like, I'm their hero. So it's like, okay, I got to be here. So now everything that my dad used to tell me, it plays over and over in my mind, over and over. And then it made me realize, like, damn, I really did have a good dad. Like, damn, my dad really did. Like he turned up for me, but I didn't see it at the time because I'm looking at TV. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at that.
To read.
You know what I mean? I'm looking at those negative influences instead of respecting the man my dad was. God rest his soul now. You know what I mean? But just respecting that man and seeing how he provided for me, and that a lot of, even some of my friends don't have their fathers, never knew their fathers, and I knew mine, and he was there, never missed a beat. So it's like I'm obligated to do that same thing for my boys. And my dad never did anything to send him to prison, none of that, while I was here. So I owe my kids the same thing. So it just, like saying prayer, a lot of praying, the gym, you know what I mean? Just, and like I say, just environments, just removing myself from environments to where I used to hang out every day with my friends. Now it's like, all right, you guys get one day. That's it. You know what I mean? So, and you know, we got like even now, I get my boys Fridays. You know what I mean? It's not to say that, oh, I don't want to deal with y'all, but it's just like for my better health, for my mental, and showing that I still love y'all at the same time. We can only do this one day where we just partying and, you know, just hanging out with woo. But any other day, we need to be talking about, you know, building businesses, real estate, money management, credit finance, like any things of those nature, how to be better fathers. You know, if we're not talking about that, I kind of don't want to deal with it. Mm-hmm. You have to segregate days and, you know, people in your life and put them in certain places. And if you want to go to the next level.
What other boundaries have you set outside of when you hang out with your friends and the conversations that you're having?
I don't like gossiping. I don't like talking about other people. I don't like to downplay other people. If we're not uplifting who we're talking about, then I really don't care to engage in that conversation. And I'm the type of guy that I'll cut it straight off. Like, nah, we're not talking about that. Like, why we not talking about this? Or like what this person did to you. You know what I mean? And over time, they start saying like, we can't do that around here no more. We can't do that. Yeah, we can't do that around here no more. You know what I mean? But I'm still a passive person in some things, you know, because I'm not here to change everybody. So, you know, I don't want to be that person like, oh, when I'm around, you got to act like this, act like that. But like I say, it's just a journey. I know, and I respect that everyone's on their own journey. So if I can help you in a certain sense, if I can help you along, then that's my job. That's what I'm here for. I know my purpose is to serve. So, you know, that's what I'm here for.
Oh, lots of good things.
You pretty good. You pretty good at it. You know that. You pretty
good. Going back to fatherhood being a defining moment for you. So being that you had an upstanding father and now that you're a father, you're kind of realizing like, oh, that's what that looks like. How are you showing up as a parent to your boys? And how are you protecting them so that they don't follow your path, but they have freedom of choice to create their own?
I think, I don't want to say where my dad, quote unquote, messed up, because he didn't mess up, but this is all he knew. I didn't have really like an emotional father or even mother. Like,
that's good.
Yeah, I didn't have that. It was more so he was only raising me and teaching me off the things that he knew. You know what I mean? How he was raised. You know, back then they would have to be stoic all the time, no laughing. Like if you saw my dad smile, it was like, you know, it's like, oh, he's smiling. Like, what's going on? Like, that's how my dad was, very militant. But back then, that's how they had to be. You know, they had no time to play and none of that. You know what I mean? That's when they became an adult. So I didn't have that, you know, physical touch and, you know, oh, I love you, son, or, you know, good job and all. They would just do better. Like, so that's all I had. So now I changed that with my boys. They got to tell me, get off me, daddy, get off me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, dad, you know what I mean? Because they growing up now, but it's like, nah, y'all still my babies. I'm gonna tell you, I love you every chance I get. I'm gonna hug you and I'm gonna nurture you every chance I get. I'm gonna show you that physical affection because I know what that does on the outside world. If you're not getting that at home, you're gonna look for that in the streets. So, and that's what I did. I looked for that in the streets. You know, my boys, you know, we all, you know, always together and we laughing and joking. So you're gonna gravitate to that. So I try to show my sons that side a lot more than what I got. Like, if you ever need to talk about anything, you know, you need to be open. You want to, you know, just you want to cry, like, do it. You know what I mean? And we'll talk about it after you finish and let you know so you can express and show your emotions in a healthy way. I couldn't do that when I was young. No crying, no none of that. Like nothing. Fix your face, like nothing. But I understood though. Like, cause like I said, now that I'm a parent, I can't be mad at you because that's the way that you were raised. You didn't know anything else. You didn't have therapy back then. That wasn't a thing in the, you know, in the 50s and 60s, 70s. That wasn't a thing. So I can't be mad at you anymore about that. You know what I mean? Because I used to hold that against him. Like, damn, why you never hug me? Why you never do all that? And he like, what you mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'll hug you. What? But he never got this, so it didn't resonate with him. So he was just trying to show me how to just be a you know, an upstanding man and, you know, to be able to take care of your family. So, and that's what I appreciate about him.
That's good. I think we had a conversation in Bible study. I'm not a parent yet, about parenting. A lot of them are. And the concept of gentle parenting and where we give our parents grace because they only had access to the knowledge that they had at the time. So as you parent your boys, I can hear that like you provided this space for them to feel emotionally safe. But what other ways are you right and wrong? Do you believe in whooping and
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie though. Let me not lie myself. Let me not lie. My boys haven't gotten whoopings in maybe 3-4 years.
Wow, they're good boys.
Yeah, they good. But threats, do they get threats? You know what I mean? Every 5 minutes they get threatened. Our lingo is, our quote to each other, what's gonna happen? They say, I'm gonna get a whooping. That you already know. But y'all haven't got whoopings in 3-4 years. So at this point, y'all really could finesse me and be like, Dad ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna do
I'll
that.
talk. But how are you showing up so that they don't choose the streets?
By showing up.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
that's the moment. That's the real.
Yeah. By showing up. Making sure that I'm present. PTA me like just stuff at school, anything they have at school.
PTA day?
I'm trying.
I love that for you.
Baseball games and you know what I mean, just showing up for things that I know that they need to see me at.
Wow.
That I used to wish that I could see my parents at, because they did none of that. You know what I mean? Like my dad was at all my like baseball games and stuff, but just school functions and things like that I saw other fathers at, nah. So I try to show up as much as I can for them, and I see how that's helping them in school, and it helps the teachers and the counselor, even the principals. Once they see a father, present, they look at the child different. They I don't want to say favoritism, but they start showing a little bit more, favor to that child. Like, okay, you got it. Let's nurture you a little bit more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got it together. Like you got a structure home. So let's kind of push you more and keep you aligned. So I see that's a main factor that you got to have with the kids.
We're going to get into your businesses and life as an entrepreneur in a second, but how do you balance that with showing up as a father?
It's hard. It's very hard. Like I said, just prayer, structure, calendars, you know what I mean? And like I said, just that the right people around me help me remember things that sometimes I don't. You know what I mean? Scheduling it gets rough. It does get rough. It does get hectic. Like my son today got a baseball game right now. But yeah. But I said, look, Daddy got to go work. Daddy
didn't tell me. We could have
It's work. He understands.
Yeah.
He understands. So you know what I mean? But I make sure to FaceTime call you before I get there. You know what I mean? While you there, you good game. Make sure you have a good game. Daddy here. Call me when we after. And that vice versa. You know what I mean? So and they encourage me. They see me at work. Daddy, you working? I see you working. Dad, I call you back. So they respect it now. You know what I mean? When Daddy say I'm working, so I just trying to teach them that same thing. So, but it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
So before we get into your entrepreneurial journeys, you've talked a lot about your faith and how that's helped you stay encouraged. At what point did that happen? Like, when did the switch flip for you that like, oh, I'm finna trust God. I'm gonna give him myself fully?
I think from my mom. I grew up in a church home, but it's like my mom was very, very churchy. Like, as I could say, yes, from the country, churchy. But she was the pastor's aide. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like my mom was in church.
Can I offer you some water?
I'm good, thank you. But she comes from being in church Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes Saturday, and all day Sunday.
Right.
So it's like I'm used to that lifestyle. So as I got older, into my teens and all that, I wanted to get away from that as much as I could, because I was kind of forced into that as a young age, not realizing that what's keeping you safe is your mama's prayer. Your mama's word, you know what I mean? That prayer, that covering over you, and grandmamas and all of that. So I come from that lineage that me and my brother discuss that all the time. Like, bro, we been covered, bro. Even though we done been through some stuff, we been covered, because I know we weren't supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? From the stuff that we done been through. And it just started, that foundation started from there. So I was always familiar with God and, you know what I mean, just the word and everything. But just me personally going after it, it kind of just happened like when I came home from prison. I was in church every Sunday in prison. I was there, but it's more so like the mental part about it. I wasn't spiritually inclined with it yet. You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, to help me stay mentally, straight, you know what I mean, all of that. But once I came home, it was just like, just a feeling like, Lord, I need you. Like, I cannot do this by myself. Like, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, the stresses of the world. I got 2 sons now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting older. I don't want to go back to my old life. I need you. And once I kind of just leaned on him, everything started working out. Even when things get rough, I know it'll be all right. I don't stress about nothing no more. Even when things get low, it's just like, he got me. I'm good. I'm
Crazy
good.
faith.
Yeah, it's crazy faith. But you got to have it. Like I said, you got to have faith of mustard seed. And how little is that faith for him to say he's still going to place a hand on you? So if I'm saying like, you got me, I'm good. I mean, I got a whole patch. I got a whole field of faith. So I already know I'm good. For real.
So you mentioned earlier about how like you're confident in who you are and who your faith, but you don't push that onto other people. But sometimes in church, people be so passionate about it. They be like, no, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you're this, and the third. Like, how do you create that balance where you say, okay, I'm gonna live my life out loud for Christ, but I'm still gonna be here for people who haven't gotten there yet?
Because everyone's on their own journey. People was doing the same thing to me when I was on the wrong path. But their words still resonated with me to where I'm on the path now. I remember when they told me certain things or tried to teach me certain things that I can implement now. So when I talk to my friends about that, like now it'll be a sense of, man, I just want to talk about God tonight, bro. And I'd be like, oh, okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Like what we talking about? So it's like, and they were never that comfortable doing that before to where now we can actually sit down and have a conversation about it, because when you're in the streets, that's not a regular thing you do. But now I see that what's going on in society and our culture now is like we are being way more accepting of our religion, our spirituality now, to where everybody's, not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people are more so converted and like, look, I've been trying it this way for so long.
It's not working.
Look, it's not working. I done been through so many trials and tribulations. May I need to try a new way. And once you try that new way, you see like, oh man, like I feel so much better. Like I'm waking up happy. I'm going to sleep. I'm actually sleeping. It's like I'm not really stressing about a lot. You'll see like, nah, that's not your word. That's God's word. He's just working through you, and he worked through other people. So I just try to put it in where I can, where I feel the Spirit talking to me, where I'm being led, and not just impose it on people, but just water people with it. You know what I mean? Because I know people listen to what I say. So eventually down the road, you're going to come back. Once I get that phone call, like, what you think about this? Like, man, I think God was talking to me. Now we can have that conversation because they know the door is always open. So
come on, doors of the church. That's good. So you said your faith is keeping you encouraged. Your journey is fatherhood. You mentioned therapy and that not being available to your father. Has therapy helped you?
Yeah, absolutely. I was in therapy sessions my whole prison bid. Like I made that mandatory. I put that in my packet. Like when y'all send me off, make sure that I have a therapist, because you can request that. Wow. So I made sure that I had that. I was in a whole like treatment program for 9 months. You know what I mean? Just so I could come out mentally strong. You know what I mean? I knew I needed more help other than myself. You know what I mean? So I wasn't all the way spiritual yet. So I knew I needed something to keep me grounded. And like I say, it works. It absolutely works, because a lot of times we don't have that community where you can just talk. You have to always wear a mask. You got to always wear, have a facade, a character on. And, once you can be able to take that down, because you talk to a therapist, you don't know me. So I could just lay it on you. And when that person, you have a great therapist, they can give you that feedback back. It's like, I needed that. You know what I mean? How many times you watch the TV show like, man, like, watch a pastor you've never seen before, and he just give you that word. And it's like, oh man, like I needed that. And it changed your whole week, changed your whole year, just one sentence. And that's what a therapy does. That's what therapists do. You know what I mean? It's like they just, especially you have a spiritual therapist. It's just they connect with you a little better. You know what I mean? So I encourage every black man, especially every black man that's been through something, and black women, therapy for sure.
That's good. So one of the reasons I like to have a good mix of men on the show is because in general, I think society places their own assumptions on men, black men especially, which causes you all to feel like you have to live up to a expectation, regardless of if you agree to it or not. And so you've said that a therapist has allowed you to just let go and be yourself. Do you feel like you're fighting any of those expectations people are putting on you since you've been out?
I would say fight. I believe we should have expectations of each other. Like I feel as though I want you to have an expectation of me. And if I slip on that, have that grace for me. You know what I mean? To know that I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? But expect great things from me.
Yeah.
Expect me to be great. Expect me to be a great father. Yeah, I wouldn't want it no less. You know, and when you see, like I said, when you see me slip, because I am human, have that grace for me and help me get back on the horse and get back on that expectation path that you see me on. You know what I mean? But you know the people that like, oh no, they ain't gonna be nothing. Like, nah. You know what I mean? So you can't expect that. But when they grow out of that, okay, I see you. You know what I mean? So it's just I like it. Expect expect big things out of me because expect doubt me. You know what I mean? Even if you get your expectation is to doubt me, like do that because I'm gonna prove you wrong. Period. You know what I mean? So like I encourage that. I encourage the expectations of people. I encourage it when it's doable. You know what I mean? When it's like it's reachable, not just you should be able to jump to the moon or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, like, you know what I mean? But if it's doable and realistic, I warrant it.
That's good. I love this perspective. Okay, so you've stayed encouraged. We've gotten your faith, fatherhood, people encouraging you, and community. Ask for help. I hope y'all got that he be asking for help. So you went from trucking, transportation, to I think photography, yeah. And then Forbes. So we gotta get into that.
Yeah.
So
talk about the money.
Yeah, because I'm trying to get to the money. So how did that transition look?
I had a photo shoot scheduled one day.
How did you learn how to take a picture? Like when did you discover that?
So I got tired of my friends, because like I said, we're rappers. You know what I mean? So I got tired of them taking pictures. Yeah.
After this for you.
Jesus.
I've been trying to hold it in. I'm sorry. I've been trying.
I listen. But no, I got tired of my friends taking pictures with their phones.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So I'm around and you're like, oh, take a picture with my phone. Take a picture with my phone. I'm like, and I'm looking at other people's pages, rappers that you want to be, and they have, even if it's lifestyle candid pictures, they're still done by a professional camera. So they got to have somebody there that's doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, my boys fly. You know what I mean? They style pretty good, man. Let me just take some pictures. Let me get a camera and take some pictures of y'all. Bought a camera, learned the settings and everything, and started doing it. Just let me take pictures of you for free. I was doing photo shoots and stuff for free at first. You know what I mean? To start going up. Put my my company on Google Ads. Made some couple ads, and I got booked one day. You know what I mean? I got booked one day to do this 8-year-old party. You know what I mean? And the father of the party was a Forbes executive.
Really?
Right. You know what I mean? I won't go into details about the party or whatnot, but you know what I mean? But we ended up having a conversation after I finished shooting, and, basically he was just intrigued because he thought it was going to be a white guy pull up.
Really?
Right. You know what I mean? Because I had my company set up like it's going to look white. You know what I mean? I know how to, make it look so it can attract everybody. It's not going to just look, women, all of that. Like, nah, it's going to be, corporate settings and everything like that. So he thought a white guy was going to put us in a, imagine me pulling up and it's nothing but white folks. But he was cool, and I went there, did my job. I tell everybody, act like I'm not here. You know what I mean? And at the end of the party, whatever, we stood on the balcony, big balcony, overlooking just like, it had to be over 1,000 acres. It was just amazing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, whose house is it? He's like, man, this is my other house. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait. I'm like, wait, what?
So far behind as a people.
Right.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? So he's like, Mr. Wilson, man, and he just took a liking to me, and I gave him my story. I just something my spirit led me just the same way we talk. Yeah, just to share it with him. Just share it. You know what I mean? And he was just so intrigued by the stories. Like, man, like, and you here? Like, man, what you doing next week? What you doing tomorrow? You know what I mean? He was like, I'm gonna send you something. Give me your email. And the next day he sent me a contract for, making sure that I do all the Forbes photo shoots and headshots and everything in Atlanta for the next 5 years. Like, he sent me that the next day. So I'm like,
what?
You know what I mean? Like, okay. All right. So, I did that for a couple years, you know what I mean? Like, nothing. He brought Bloomberg to me, Bloomberg Business. So I got contracted out with Forbes and Bloomberg within the first 6 months of me doing photography, which meant like a lot of other photographers like, how did you do that? I'm just like, right place at the right time. Honestly, I just met the right person. Fast forward a couple years, I'm doing photo shoots with a lot of small businesses, and their social media maybe has 300 followers. Basically, you know, just being honest. But
Like me.
made great content, got great products, got multi-million-dollar ideas, and it'll look like that. But it's
Yeah.
like, okay, at that point, where are you marketing it to? So I'm just sitting and put it on Instagram or Facebook, like that. So it's like when I created the ad app, that was my answer. Like I'm shooting so many dope businesses and they have nobody to promote to. So I need to create something where it's just straight. It's not about followers. It's not about that. It's just straight. You look, if they looking for what you selling, your content will come up and they'll go directly to your website or your Instagram, however you want, wherever you want to send them to. Pitched it to Forbes. They literally walked in the corner on me. Like literally, like, give us 2 minutes. Walked in the corner on me. Came back and they said, look, we're full-fledged with you. We love the idea. We just wish we thought of it first.
Wow.
And I was like, that's when I knew I had something. So of course, I got a trademark, I got all these woodies. I had to go to the drawing board. I had nothing done yet. I just had the blueprint and the logo and the idea, the concept. So, you know what I mean? But what I told them was, because I haven't really even, like, we haven't even pushed the button on it yet, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because it's only been launched 2 months. And it is done exceptionally well thus far. You know what I mean? And, we got Turo, McLaren, Mercedes, BMW, Travago, Airbnb. We got so many, Burger King, McDonald's, so many different companies that's already been implemented on the app. And it's just like, man, it's only been 2 months, man. Like, little old me from Southside Atlanta, College Park, Atlanta, done created something this big. Like, so I'm just looking 5 years down the line of where this great spirit-filled company is going to be. And like I said, I couldn't have done it without my community, my environment, and my mentor. You know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't have done it without them. But it has been exceptionally well, and I just encourage everyone that has a business that doesn't have another platform to promote on, just upload your stuff on the ad app. You know what I mean? Like it'll definitely take you off. It'll definitely help and inspire others, to see your business. And it's not worried about followers or anything. They, like I said, if you type in podcast, this podcast is gonna pop up. We go directly to your website. It's just simple as that.
So how does it work? Do users and business owners both download the app and we just see two different things?
No, so everybody sees the same thing. The users download, they're the ones searching. The consumers are searching for new companies, new services, because like I said, I basically created the new yellow pages.
Okay, I'm with you now.
You see what I'm saying? So basically, the 94% of consumers still utilize Yellow Pages, Yelp, and Google to search for companies, not social media.
Really?
Not social media.
Lord have
So
mercy.
you can imagine. So you can imagine. Yeah. So you can imagine the amount of money that is left on the table if we're talking 94%. So only 6% of people utilize social media to find businesses, but everybody promotes their business on social media. So you're missing 94% of other consumers. So okay, if y'all utilizing Yellow Pages, Yelp, and Google, those are boring. When you go on Yellow Pages right now, when the last time we used Yellow Pages?
I didn't know it was still a thing.
Exactly,
You're blowing my mind right now.
Exactly, but it's still the number one thing to use to find services. So you go in there, all you see is a picture and a link. You go on Yelp, same thing. Usually people use Yelp for reviews. So they go in there to see the reviews, and then that'll be their way to, okay, I want to buy from this company or utilize their services. And Google. Now, normally in our community, it's so hard to get your advertisement on Google. You have to spend a lot of money to advertise on Google. Yelp is just your review, so you got to have your company already up and running to have the reviews. Yellow Pages is just a picture and a link, so it's boring. So of course everybody's on TikTok. You know what I mean? So it's like in that aspect, when I'm on TikTok, it's just straight videos and entertainment.
Yeah.
So you promoting already on TikTok and Instagram, just do the same thing on the ad app. You want to promote the same thing. You want to promote, advertise the same way. So add it on the ad app too, because everybody's using the Yellow Page. So now mine is right there with theirs. So if they got a new platform and it's more entertainment, more innovative, everybody's going to that. So put your business on there. So while it's getting hot, you're already on there. So it just, I just thought of some I just filled in the blanks.
That's a big blank to fill. That's good. So you talked about how many businesses are on there. What's the rate of consumers since now in the last 2 months?
Over 100,000. Like we trying, like we're just growing and growing,
Wow.
growing and growing. Like I said, we still haven't fully pushed the button yet. Still haven't, and it's just like because we're just trying to make sure that we got all our our I's dotted and our T's crossed to make sure that it's run properly. Make sure that get the great feedback, seeing the comments, seeing how everybody thinks about it. You know what I mean? And it's just been doing exceptionally well. Exceptionally. So I can't wait to see within the next year to 5 years where it's going to be at. Like I just thank God about it all the time. Like that I was presented this idea, this concept, being in church. I got this concept in church.
Wow.
Right. And I just went full-fledged with it. So I'm just very excited about it.
Well, congrats. I got to give you your flowers right now.
I appreciate that. So that's where the hand claps and stuff come in.
Yeah, they ain't clap. There we go. So you keep saying the future, the next 5 years, in a perfect world, and God still stays involved the way He is now. What does the ad app look like?
Oh man, just worldwide. The go-to for businesses, for consumers to find businesses. Like I want to kind of get people away from social media, because now social media is just straight advertise. So it's like we got to get back to just living life on social media. But if you want to find a business, you come to the ad app. So I like just being in that space of bigger than Google ads, bigger than Yellow Pages, bigger than Yelp, and we are on trajectory to doing that. So
Congrats.
Yeah,
one other question I want to sneak in that just imparted. How has your experience in the streets during time in federal prison made you unique as a business owner with Forbes?
Being around different people, different ethnicities, learning how to speak and navigate with different people. When you're in the feds, it's like you're in there with every type of person, every type of race. It's not just blacks. It's like, so don't ever think it's like that. Like you're in there with everybody, even though they don't promote that.
Yes.
It's really a lot more whites and
really?
yeah, a lot more whites and a lot more Hispanics and Asians in there really than blacks. You know what I mean? So because they're the ones, like feds is about the money, so they're the ones really making the money. We just doing the most time. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to think about that aspect of it. But just having that sharp mind, being able to read people fast, being able to understand energies, and you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't need to deal with this person, or this is the person I need to deal with. Just how they carry themselves. And it just made me navigate that world better. So like when I met Mr. Wilson, he saw something different immediately, like what you got going on? Like, I know you just not doing this. What's on your mind? Like how can I help you expand? And that's how I got that, that serving spirit, because he didn't have to do that. I'm just a little black kid from College Park, and I'm shooting in your other big mansion. You know what I mean? You didn't have to do that.
Right.
And the point of him walking me through this whole journey, this whole process, because he's retiring next year. He's moving to Morocco. No, actually he's moving to Monaco. And so it's just being there with him, talking to him, every other day, and just having those conversations. And I don't know, it's just life helped me. Just life journey helped me to get to where I am right now. So like I said, but he's not done yet. So I still have a long journey to go. Yeah. So I'm just excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. It's so interesting. I just talked about how disobedience can prolong your journey, but your whole testimony is about how obedience can completely change your life. So I thank you so much for being so transparent.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
It's good in the back. So if you were to leave our listeners with anything, what would it be?
You said, say that again?
If you were to leave our listeners, so your last 2 or 3 points to everybody.
Keep going. Please keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Trust me, keep going. No matter how it looks, no matter how you feeling today, you still have tomorrow. Keep going. Keep God first. I promise you, He will never fail you. If it's your time, it's your time. Just wait for your season. It's coming. I promise you, I'd have been through hell and back, and I thought I was not gonna make it out. and here I am today. So trust the journey, trust your spirit, trust your heart too. You know what I mean? And please stay in the right environments and stay around people that encourage you to do better and not drag you down the wrong road. That's it.
Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode with somebody who might benefit from it. And I can't wait to see y'all next Wednesday.
Peace.
Woo!